Number 15. Near miss. It's safe to assume that when somebody is standing on train tracks, staring down an oncoming train, they're either crazy or sadly looking to end their life. That question is exactly at hand in this footage, taken in India, published in May of 2017. The footage shows a train steadily making its way down the track when a mother and her daughter decide that's the best time to book it across. They slow down as they reach the other side, while the train, fast approaching, starts blaring its horn to warn them to get the heck out of the way. Instead, the mother and daughter remain on the track, walking casually toward the train, before veering off to the right in what appears to be the last second. Why would you tempt your own fate, and even worse, the fate of your child, by walking this fine line between life and passing on? One can only guess. As myself and most in the comments agree, this could have ended terribly. Number 14. Ghost in Korea. Ghost investigations are even scarier in another language. In this video posted to YouTube in December of 2018, ghost investigators attempt to infiltrate an abandoned house that we can only guess is haunted. At least it looks that way. While exploring the home, the investigator keeps hearing things moving, debris being unsettled, and from the way he's jerking his camera around, it seems he's sensing movements around him. What is in this home with him? The place appears as though someone just picked up and left. It's covered with debris and looks like it was abandoned in a state of chaos. While creeping around some upstairs room, the ghost investigators appear to sense someone or something, and that something grabs a hold of him. It's clear he's struggling with a force in the home. He tussles with it and for a moment is dragged backwards by the force before he escapes, racing out of there like his life depends on it, which it probably does. What is going on in this video? Is there any explanation as to what pulled this ghost investigator backwards? It certainly looks real to me. For fear of knowing, don't answer. After all, I don't think 99% of people could handle the answer.
어딨어? 자신 있으면 나와봐.
Number 13. Kuyang Dayak. The origins of this video are mysterious, and the footage even more so. Published to YouTuber Chibonk182, the short clip is entitled Kuyang Dayak. The video shows what appears to be a beast human behind a cage. The creature seems to have an animalistic body, although no animal on Earth has ever looked like this. While its ghost white face is that of a human male's, with long shaggy brown hair. The face looks perturbed by chit-chatting of the onlookers, to say the least, but it just continues to lie there on the blue flowered sheet, its limbs moving slightly. Also known as the Krasu in Cambodian mythology, and Krasu in Laos, the Kuyang spirit is ubiquitous across the folklore of Southeast Asia. The figure appears with the head of a woman, with its internal organs trailing below her. Is that what it is meant to be? If not, then what in the world is it? A thing of myth and legend or not? This clip does one thing right, it makes you shudder in horror. Number 12. Ghost Dad. If you've lost a loved one, you might sometimes feel that their spirit is still with you, and if you're anything like TikToker E to the R to the ICA, you might find video proof that this is actually true. Erica R 1971 posted this ghostly video to the site writing, "So my security picked this up tonight. My dad passed on November 26, and I wonder if it's him." The footage shows a ghostly figure pass by, floating casually past the security camera. The figure is white and vapor-like, appearing across the scene from right to left. If Erica is right, and this is in fact her father's spirit, what is he trying to tell her? Does he just want to comfort her by making his presence known? It does not look like CGI to me, so I think this video is 100% real. In Erica's place, would you feel comforted by a ghost? Number 11. Don't raid the fridge. If you like to scrounge for snacks at night, this video will have you second guessing that midnight snack. Posted to Reddit by Better Than Better, the home security footage reveals a dark and seemingly empty kitchen at night. Around 30 seconds in, a man trudges in and opens the fridge to get a snack. While the man is standing at the fridge, drinking something, watch the teddy bear on the kitchen table. It starts moving ever so slightly, bobbing up and down, but that's not all. When the man closes the fridge and turns to leave, the baby walker next to the table does this, confused about whether he saw what he thinks he saw. The man doesn't take his eyes off the baby walker as he leaves the room, but he returns a short time later, his wife by his side, presumably to explain what happened. As he's indicating that the baby walker moved of its own accord, the teddy bear falls over, or rather seems to fly backwards. As the wife jumps out of the room and the man approaches the bear, two of the chairs tucked under the table spring out simultaneously. If that isn't enough to scare you out of your own home, I don't know what is. I believe dealing with an incident like this is something 99% of people couldn't handle. Number 10. Watts family ghosts. The story of the Watts family is a terrible and horrific incident most are familiar with, and which I've talked about a couple times in videos. But this footage is a little different. As many of you know, Chris Watts took the lives of his pregnant wife and two daughters in Frederick, Colorado in August of 2018. It's a horrifying event that appears to have called up some terrible energy within the Watts family home. Posted to YouTube by Conjure Queen Tours, who states that she's a medium, psychic, and empath in her comments. This footage purports to show ghostly images and EVP picked up by police cameras within the Watts family home. From figures in the mirrors to giggling girls, the cops come across some eerie things inside the home. According to some in the comments, many cultures cover mirrors when there's a passed away person in the home, as they believe the souls can get trapped in mirrors and thereafter never leave. Is that what's happening here? Most in the comments agree that they feel unsettled just watching the video. Others say you can feel the negative energy in the house, and it feels alive. More even admit that this video left the hairs standing up on the back of their neck. The police as well appear to feel it as they search the home, first for clues, and later when they were called by neighbors who claimed a female intruder had entered the premises. YouTuber Miss So Is Your Face writes, I've never seen a video where you can feel the energy. Wow. Can you feel it? I certainly can. Number 9. Home invader. When a video begins with an apparent seance around candlelight, coupled with a chant of, I will not fear the clown, you know you're in for a treat. Posted by YouTuber Mo Vlogs in November of 2017, the super upbeat video turns dark when the trio do a seance around a ring of candles to summon the clown. At first, nothing happens. The group blows the candles out, overjoyed that no clown turned up. They decide not to play around with Halloween voodoo anymore, but as they're walking through the home, don't look over their shoulder, oblivious to the home invasion happening behind them. The trio calls it a day, but this initial clown spotting is not the end of it, as Natalia is reversing out of the driveway. Here he is again in the bright red of the brake lights. This time they aren't oblivious to the clown. The sighting causes them to race inside, where they lock all the doors and attempt to hide, but as it turns out, you can run but you can't hide. The clown is at the door again, silhouetted in the foggy glass. While this was most likely a prank by one of his friends, for those of us with chlorophobia, aka the fear of clowns, it is no joke. Thanks a lot, Stephen King. Number 8. Virginia home intrusion. People can be equally, if not more, frightening than the spirit world, and this video is proof. Posted by NBC4 Columbus in June of 2017. The video description reads, a suspect has been taken into custody in connection to the incident that occurred at Woodbend Cove in Winfield, West Virginia on Thursday. The incident in question is caught in this surveillance footage, a gentle reminder that our life can be taken right out from under us. The video shows a woman enter a home, calling out a greeting before racing into the home. She is first seen running upstairs, where she grabs several things, placing them into a big bag at the bottom of the steps. Before running around to gather more valuables, she lugs a bag full of stuff into the living room, throwing it on the couch in order to detach the DVD player from the TV. She struggles significantly with it, yanking on multiple cords trying to remove it. Once she does, she shoves everything into the bag, and as she continues to collect electronics, someone, presumably her backup, is heard from a walkie-talkie or other device, likely informing her about the situation outside.
There's a guy what? Okay.
She continues to gather stuff, after which she asks her partner if things are clear to come out, and the response is somewhat inaudible.
Am I good to come out? What?
In the end, she makes off with 2 large, trash can-sized bags of stuff, along with whatever she's managed to jam into her purse. She yells at her partner to pull it up, before leaving with the getaway driver.
No. Yeah. Pull it up. Hurry up. Hurry up! Pull it up!
Further news reported by Metro News indicates that the suspect and the getaway driver were identified after the home was gutted of $5,000 worth of possessions between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Many in the comments are more than surprised by these brazen actions, with YouTuber Susan Appleby writing, "She should try and rob some brain cells next time. Couldn't agree more." Number 7. La Llorona, a very similar sounding shriek to the so-called Cougar. This one claims the sound is coming from none other than a monster from traditional Latin America folklore known as La Llorona. According to legend, La Llorona was the unloved mother of her 2 sons. Her husband loved his sons more than her, and also had an affair with another woman, causing La Llorona to break. She is said to have taken the lives of her 2 boys in a river in a rage, following them in grief by taking her own alongside their bodies. Now she wanders the earth in search of the souls of her sons. The terrifying wailing of her grief is heard throughout Latin America. Those who hear her cries are said to face misfortune or even have their lives taken, so maybe just to be on the safe side, turn down the volume for this one. Published to YouTube in September of 2018, the horrifying demonic scream at the start of the video definitely doesn't sound human. In fact, it makes you want to urge whoever is filming to get someplace safe, fast. Instead, he films outside on the rain-filled streets at night, as La Llorona screeches demonically in an animalistic cry. Shortly after, a more human-like women's weeping is heard. The man approaches the phantom voice in the darkness. It's difficult to make out a figure in all this, but he speaks to her, and she responds, which makes one think this is a real human woman making these sounds, not La Llorona after all.
¿Tienes dulce?
Mi esposa.
¿Tu esposa?
After a while of the man chatting back and forth with her, and then answering his radio, the woman falls silent. Barry in the comments says, "I understand Spanish. She seems to have multiple personalities. Was that inhuman sound made by a human person? Someone with multiple personalities? Perhaps someone possessed? Or is this La Llorona in the flesh?" Number 6. Goblin Shark. If you only knew what was lurking beneath the waters, would you even want to dip a toe in? I guarantee you this video will keep you land-bound. Known as the Goblin Shark, this creepazoid creature extends its jaw out of its body and snaps it back when catching food. Take a look at this madness in action, posted by the Discovery Channel Southeast Asia in June of 2016. The shark is seen chomping a diver in the depths of the ocean, its jaw extending, just as the narrator describes. The narrator notes that this particular goblin shark is a juvenile, so its teeth weren't strong enough to fully penetrate the diver's wetsuit. Next time though, this diver might not be so lucky.
Luckily, it was a juvenile with immature teeth that could barely penetrate the wetsuit. Had it been a 16-foot-long adult, it could have done some serious damage.
Remember that when you decide to risk a deep dive into the uncharted territories of the world's oceans. This is scary enough to see just in this video. I couldn't imagine what it must have been like in real life. Number 5. Cougar call. When you're in the middle of the woods, alone and defenseless, the last thing you want to hear is this. This horrifying sound, according to its uploader, is a cougar mating call, but what it sounds like is a woman shrieking for her life in fear or inexplicable horror, coupled with the moaning horn-like sound of an unknown creature. If you hadn't been told this was a cougar, how would you feel hearing this in the middle of the woods? I mean, maybe it's just more horrifying knowing that it is a cougar, as it might just go for your face. Redditor Eli uses Reddit shares his opinion saying, hearing this without thinking it's a cougar would honestly make me blank myself, with many in the thread agreeing with that summatation. Others liken the sound to a woman having her life taken, while some think it sounds like a zombie breakout or a banshee. Further in the thread, however, Redditor The Lil Hedgehog claims that this sound is not in fact a cougar, but rather really is the sound of a woman shrieking from some police body cam footage, which has been dubbed into the video. Does anyone familiar with animal sounds know what a cougar shriek actually sounds like? Whether or not it's a cougar, I'd have to agree that if I heard this noise in the forest, I would surely panic. Number 4. Apparition in the window. When you visit a place that's notoriously haunted, don't expect to be disappointed. Posted to YouTube by Corndictive, the uploader writes of this clip, watch the very top window of the house. That flash didn't happen when we were taping this, and none of us know what it is. There were no cars out when this happened. The top window in question is that of the Glenmore Mansion. This clip necessitates a little background on this spooky place. As it turns out, many of the historical sites of Jefferson County, Tennessee are crazy haunted. Glenmore Mansion was built in 1799. It belonged to a family for a century and was later bought up by Mr. Milton Preston Jarnigan, who named the house after his first son who passed away as an infant. The home was in the Jarnigan family for a further century. Over the course of more than 2 centuries, passing in this old home were bound to occur, resulting in the haunting of these hallowed grounds. According to some legends, the house is like an Escher drawing in that the exterior windows are more in number than the interior windows. Others also suggest the home's height changes, although some say the mega mansion has 15 rooms across 5 stories, with other sites reporting there are 27 rooms. When the mansion falls dark, visitors claim there's a presence roaming around the home, but don't worry, the presence is benevolent. Some believe it to be the ghost of a local historian, Thomas Roach. When alive, Roach claimed that if ever a ghost was found there, it would be him. But one of the creepiest sightings happened outside the mansion altogether. A young girl is often seen walking along the estate's road at night in the darkness. From unexplained sounds to shadows in the mirrors, the mansion has had its fair share of ghastly ghosts. Tours of the home are routine, but once the lights are out and the house has been abandoned for the night, some say a light turns on in the attic. This Victorian gem of a house seems so perfectly cookie cutter that it's the perfect place for a haunting, and the unsettling nature of the home is confirmed by this video. The crew focuses in on an upstairs window where they see lights or a flash of white and something moving inside. Can you spot it? Whether you believe in ghosts or not, you probably wouldn't want to be in Glenmore Mansion when the lights turned on. Number 3. Banana Tree Ghost. Every culture has its own folklore, but the banana tree ghost of Asia is particularly creepy. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. We've seen banana tree ghosts in the past, but this one is extra spooky. Alien Angel writes, "Ghost girl crying in a banana tree patch. It is unbelievable what happens towards the end. Traditionally, the ghost hides out in wild banana trees and is with a green complexion, full black hair, and bright red lips. She remains incognito there until full moon drives her out of the darkness, which is when she is made visible at night. Often she is seen standing without touching the ground. Her lower half is represented as not solid, but wispy, like an extension from the trunk of the tree itself. Apart from the tree's fruits being inedible, many don't grow this type of banana tree in their compounds or homes because of their haunted nature. This is also why if you cut a banana tree from the clump in Thailand, it's seen as a bad omen, while the witch is believed to be for the most part a good witch, even going so far as to offer food to Buddhist monks who pass her by. With this bit of background, take a look at this video. The wailing witch is clearly visible in this banana tree. Her long black hair and light green shirt seen amongst the giant banana leaves. What isn't clear is why she's crying like this. Or is that crying coming from the person viewing the witch? Is it a cry of fear? The viewer doesn't have to be afraid for long, as the witch soon vanishes, flashing up out of the tree and out of sight. While some in the comments say this is surely a witch, others aren't so sure. Redditor Pete318 shares his own personal view, writing, "There are some areas where spirit people congregate, and you can tell these areas by several things you feel when near them. Whether you believe in the haunting of nature or not, this video is proof that there are some things out there that will forever remain a mystery." Number 2. The silhouette in the sunlight. You know when you're nonchalantly taking video, panning across the room, and this happens? This short clip posted to YouTube by Baku DD is not meant to be a jump scare, but it'll have you jumping scared anyway. As the woman films her apartment with a blurry camera, she pans around to a hallway that appears to be filled with sunlight, perhaps by a window backlighting the area, and there stands a tall looming figure that apparently shouldn't be there at all, judging by the woman's frightened reaction. The woman shrieks, and the shot moves sideways as she jumps in fright. When she pans back to the hallway, the figure is gone. This is either a fantastic fake or the real deal. Whether you think it's legit or not, it's probably something you wouldn't want to witness in the flesh. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you curious about what I look like in real life? Then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT to find out. Do you like my narrations? If you answered yes, then tap the follow button and thank you for your support. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way you'll be notified of the new video we upload every Tuesday. Number 1. Petrifying barn dweller. When you hear something outside and you don't know what it is, it's probably best not to go in search of it. That's what YouTuber Leviathan did in January of 2020, writing, "We've been hearing chilling sounds from barn, and we decided to investigate. What we've seen lurking in there was petrifying. Is there someone who is able to identify the creature?" The video shows the pair walking through the darkness in the woods at night. They enter a wooden barn and are shortly met by this terrifying rattling howl. When the thing starts banging around the barn, the pair of thrill seekers don't stay long enough to find out what was making that noise. Who can blame them? Would you want to face whatever is making this sound in the nighttime darkness? Me neither. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because we upload new countdowns every Tuesday and Saturday. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of our other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy!